All right, guys. Well, it is here. The 4.7.0 mid-chapter patch is out. And, well, it is not the latest chapter with the Resident Evil coming out later in June this year. And it does have a lot of changes and updates that we have been looking for and kind of looking forward to. At least I have. So before we get into it, just remember that we do stream live twitch.tv/Parklis throughout the week. So make sure you stop by, say hey, and ask any questions you might have. I'll try to answer the best I can. Now, we know that you hate reading, so we're going to go ahead and do it for you. In the 4.7.0 mid-chapter patch, there has been a lot of stuff that we played on the PTB, but some things have changed from the PTB to live, as they tend to do. First thing we're going to go over is the content. In Tome 7 for the archives will start tomorrow. As of this recording, will be May the 5th, which is Wednesday, at 11 a.m. Eastern. Rift fragments for level completion rewards will now increase per level. So when you finish level completion, the amount of rift fragments you get is actually higher, which is fantastic. Also, the required amount of player XP per rift fragment has been reduced to 500 XP. Previously, it was 800 XP for faster rift progression. This, combined with the rift fragment increase from level completion, nobody should have an issue finishing their rift, unless you just play maybe once a week. UI changes. Settings menu. Replaced all checkboxes with text-based steppers with choices on and off to be consistent with similar setting interaction. HUD visual improvements to killer power indicators behind survivor portraits. General. Bottom of these indicators are no longer covered by the survivor portraits. The Doctor Madness levels now have a distinct visual for each level. The Plague improved sickness meter texture colors for colorblind players. The Nightmare increased brightness of the Dream World indicator, and Ghostface increased contrast on the stalking meter. For the visual update for all Coldwind Farm maps. If you haven't checked them out, check them out because it's daytime now. The Doctor VFX update. Optimize Doctor VFX to improve performance. Reduce the intensity of the glitch and madness screen effect. Now here is they've done some updates on killers and perks and stuff. The first one we're going to look into is the Twins post-release update. With this update, we've tried to widen the window for counterplay when attempting to down multiple survivors with Victor. Also, the ultra rare add-ons were underperforming and have had their bonuses increased. Charlotte can now rotate while waking up. Victor's successful pounce cooldown is 5 seconds. It was 3. Victor can now move during the successful pounce cooldown. Silencing Cloth, which is an add-on, grants undetectable for 20 seconds. It was 12. Iridescent Pendant inflicts exposed for 30 seconds, which was also 12. So a couple changes to the Twins. Moving on to the Demogorgon. Demogorgon's portals have been adjusted to be usable more frequently, traverse distance faster, and grant a bit more stealth. The base move speed, while the shred has been increased, and the bonus from add-ons decreased. Some portal/traversal add-ons has also had their values reduced in light of the base stat improvement. The end result should be as strong or stronger. We will continue to monitor the performance of these add-ons and adjust them in future patches as needed. For the power, the Traverse the Upside Down cooldown is 10 seconds. It used to be 14. Normal Traverse the Upside Down velocity is 20 meters a second. It used to be 17 meters a second. Undetectable lasts 13 seconds after traversing the Upside Down, raised from 2. And movement speed while charging Shred increased from 3.68 meters per second to 3.86. So big improvement there. For his add-ons, Blackheart reduces cooldown time after a successful Shred attack by 20%. For Rat Liver, 3.5% movement speed while charging Shred. It used to be 9, but the end result is unchanged to the increase in his base movement speed while charging the Shred. Rat Tail, 25% action speed while portal opening. It used to be 50% increase. Rotten Pumpkin, when traversing the Upside Down, the portal you enter is destroyed. Blood points are earned. Barb's Glasses slightly increases Shred recovery speed when breaking a pallet. Rotten Green Trip increases killer movement speed while traversing the upside down by 15%. It was 25. Sticky lining, excuse me, increases the radius in which survivors can be detected of the abyss by 2.5 meters. It was 1.5 meters. Brass case lighter inflicts 60 seconds of blindness, raised from 45 seconds. Deer lung increases upside down traversal speed by 40%, increased from 30%. Now reduces the portal count by 2. 11 soda shows yellow auras for generators being repaired while traversing the upside down. Thorny vines, seal time increased by 10%. It was 14%. Detection radius by a meter. It was 1.5 meters. Lifeguard whistle, survivors near activated portals are indicated by killer instinct without having the charge of the abyss. Unknown egg reduces power recovery time after traversing the upside down by 1.5 seconds, down from 2.5 seconds. Lapros lichen, survivor auras remain for 3 seconds after emerging from a portal. And red moss, when traversing the upside down, the Demogorgon emerges from the target portal silently, but more slowly. So that goes into the Demogorgon changes. We're going to move on to Freddy, or the Nightmare update. That's right, he has been changed again. The Nightmare has been overperforming for some time, and his game slowdown add-ons were still causing more frustration than we would like. These have been removed and replaced with new effects based on survivor sounds in the dream world. We've also made adjustments to penalize spamming snares in chase and reduce the number of traps that can be active at once, but expect the core gameplay experience to remain intact. I think they went, but we expect. Anyway, for the power changes, move speed now adjusted to 4 meters per second while charging Dream Snare. It used to be not reduced. Dream Snare charges reduced to 5 from 8. Dream Pallet reduced to 7 from 10. So you're going to lose 3 charges no matter which way you go. Using a clock to wake up prevents falling asleep for 30 seconds. This includes when getting hit by Freddy. Adding a new killer power visual behind the survivor portrait to indicate the 30-second sleep immunity timer. For the add-ons, Black Ox, when a gate is opened, the entity blocks it for sleeping survivors for 15 seconds. Jump Rope, when survivors are in the dream world, the sounds of their grunts pains are louder by 50%. Outdoor Rope, while survivors are in the dream world, the sounds of their generator repairs can be heard from 8 meters further away from original. Swing Chains, while survivors are in the dream world, the sounds of their footsteps are 50% louder. So Huntress has also been having a little bit of an update, which we are all thankful for. So let's get into it. The Huntress was among the last of the older killers with incorrect add-on rarities, and this has now been fixed. Several add-ons have been altered to give more interesting effects, and her most controversial add-on has been adjusted so it no longer allows carrying more than 1 hatchet. For the add-ons, the Boris Toxin becomes yellowed cloth, plus 10% hatchet flight speed. Coarse Stone, the grunts of pain from hit targets are increased by 50% until they are fully healed. Amanita Toxin, hits target suffer from blindness status effect for 60 seconds. This was 30 seconds. Deerskin Gloves has been bumped to a rare. Excuse me. Fine Stone becomes weighted head. Hit target suffers from the incapacitated status effect for 10 seconds. U-Seed Brew is now Wooden Fox. Now very rare, grants the undetectable status effect for 10 seconds after reloading. The U-Seed Concoction is now the Rose Root, 20% hatchet flight speed increase. Pungent Foul is now the Soldier's Pute, now ultra rare. The Huntress moves 4.6 meters per second when she has no more hatchets. Venomous Concoction inflicts exhausted status for 5 seconds. It was 90 seconds. Iridescent Head prevents carrying more than 1 hatchet, but the rest of the Iridescent Head remains the same. So more onto the live design changes. Apart from the killer updates, the most significant live design changes in this update is the change to survivor hook struggle inputs. One of the motivating factors behind this update is to reduce the number of inputs per second in order to make the game more accessible to those suffering from RSI. After the release of this mechanic for the executioner's cages and its positive reception by the community, we felt confident of making this change more broadly for all sacrifice struggles. The new Object of Obsession design previewed on the dev stream has been completed with a few tweaks. We hope solo survivors will enjoy small game new totem counting function, and borrowed time no longer triggers based on terror radius. It just works. New struggle hook. Struggling during the second stage on the hook is now a series of skill checks. Failing to give any input for 2 successive skill checks will instantly complete the sacrifice. Missing a skill check will reduce the amount of time until the entity claims the hook survivor. For perk changes, small game. Gain tokens for each totem any survivor cleanses. Tokens reduce cone width to increase accuracy. No longer triggers for the totem you are currently cleansing. No more will keep pinging, and it will get smaller and smaller and more accurate the more totems that are cleansed. Lucky Break now hides scratch marks as well. Duration reduced to 35, 40, and 45 seconds from the PTB. This was 70, 80, and 90 seconds. That's a huge change. Still a really good change. Soul Guard now has a 30-second cooldown between activation. I don't think that was needed, but I guess it was. Open-handed increases aura reading range by 8, 12, and 16 meters. Survivors may only be affected by one instance of open-handed. Zenshin Tactic, now always active, and range increased to 24, 28, and 32 meters. I actually really like this change. I didn't think there was ever a need for the cooldown, so that's really cool. Borrowed Time no longer requires being in the terror radius to trigger. Duration of enduring status reduced to 8, 10, and 12 seconds. Object of Obsession, the perk has been redesigned. It now says, whenever your aura is revealed to the killer's aura becomes visible to you, and you gain a 2, 4, or 6% bonus to healing, repairing, and cleansing speed. If you are the obsession, your aura is revealed to the killer for 3 seconds once every 30 seconds. Increases your chance of being the obsession. So now onto the other changes. This was an interesting section I didn't realize was actually happening, so this is kind of cool. Repairing while using a toolbox now increases the odds of getting skill checks by 5 times as opposed to twice as much. When the hatch is opened by a key, it remains open for 10 seconds instead of 30 seconds. And finally, every trial will now start with an obsession regardless of player loadout. So when we have those trials that says kill the obsession, you no longer have to run an obsession perk if you don't want to. For the archives, a new tome and rift will be added to the archives tomorrow, May 5th. Changes from the PTB to live. The Nightmares Black Box add-on activation time increased from 10 seconds to 15 seconds. Lucky Breaks duration reduced from 70, 80, and 90 seconds to 35, 40, and 45 seconds. Victor can now move during the pound success cooldown. Demogorgon base speed while charging Shred increased from 3.68 meters to 3.86 meters per second. Demogorgon's Rat Liver add-on bonus adjusted to 3.5% for resulting Shred charge move Shred speed of 4.0 meters per second. Huntress Leather Loop add-on rarity reverted to uncommon. Adjusted the Cowshed and Farmhouse map balance. Adjusted multiple collisions in farm maps. Adjusted the vault on the Harvester to be easier to use, as well as miscellaneous bug fixes. For audio, Survivors now screams audibly across the map when unhooking another survivor if the killer perk maker choice is active. Game audio is no longer caused to muffle if a game ends while the Trickster is in the main event state. Demogorgon Portal no longer audible by survivors until activated, and the Hillbilly Chainsaw will now rev continuously while in the charge state. So hopefully they haven't completely screwed up all audio like they usually do, and these changes are actually good. For the bug fixes, a good long list. Fixed an issue that could prevent pallets from stunning killers under certain circumstances, so hopefully all pallet stuns are back. Fixed an issue that could cause rare items to appear in chests more often than intended, so hopefully no more, 27 keys per game. Fixed an issue that could prevent hooks from respawning if broken with the perk Breakdown. Fixed an issue that caused the fatigue decreasing effect from the nurse add-on Wooden Horse to apply on successful hits. Fixed an issue that could prevent survivors from screaming when hit directly with the clown's antidote bottle during certain interactions. Fixed an issue that could allow survivors to climb inaccessible areas after being downed on certain rocks, benches, or similar props. Fixed an issue that prevented bell sounds from the Mr. Elf outfit from playing when rotating the character in the store. For those who don't know, I believe that's Dwight's outfit. Fixed an issue that allowed Victor to pounce through window vault location. Pouncing over them is fine. They are talking about going through the actual vault. So pouncing over windows and pallets should still be fine. Fixed an issue that would cause survivors to have default outfits when switching characters in the lobby. Fixed an issue that could cause a desync in the Trickster's knife reloading animation when using the perk Iron Maiden. Fixed an issue that could sometimes prevent dream pallets from having collision while in the up position. Fixed an issue that could prevent the Blight's prestige cosmetic skins from showing their dripping effects. Fixed an issue which caused the watch to be floating when equipping the David King's Harrington jacket cosmetic. Fixed an issue which sometimes caused a soft lock when spamming the escape while transitioning to the tally screen. Changed the way characters are displayed in the menus so they don't seem to be floating above the ground. Fixed an issue that could cause a survivor to become stuck in Pyramid Head's cage of atonement if they were to be in the exact location the cage spawns. Fixed an issue that could allow survivors to position themselves between the exit spikes and the exit trigger volume and avoid the killer's attacks in all maps. Fixed an issue where the application would soft lock when unlocking rift levels at a high speed. Miscellaneous crash fixes, and fixed an issue which caused a fat shaming spot between two rocks of the Sanctum of Wrath. For PC only fixes, they fixed an issue where performing drops could happen when having a gamepad plugged in while using keyboard and mouse. For the Switch, fixed an issue where the lobby privacy setting would not be applied correctly when taking over a lobby, and Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5 fixed an issue where the application would crash after repeatedly pressing the ready button in the play as survivor lobby. So with the 4.7.0 mid-chapter patch, a lot of changes, a lot of good changes. The new map, Cold Wind rework is here. Killers have been reworked, perks have been redone. They're adding in player model updates. So a lot of big things going on now. The archives are coming out tomorrow, and then for the next chapter, the 5-year anniversary, we are looking at Resident Evil. So a lot of good things happening. If you guys enjoyed this, you guys know how YouTube works. A like is appreciated. If you want us to know when we come out with more videos, make sure you hit that sub button. Notifications turning on would be cool. And if you just want to chat or have a comment, leave it down below and I'll make sure to get to you. But until next time, stay safe out there in the fog.